Yeah, so let's get started. Where you from?
From Baltimore. Originally from West Baltimore. Like it's not really like too far. It's not too far from here, like in the art district, but it's West Baltimore. Like if you going down North Avenue on the west side, you there like Pennsylvania Avenue and right down there is like Lawrence, and you see the Avenue Market. So like that's where I'm from. Like that's where I live at.
So did you like grow up in that? Did you just grow up in Baltimore your whole life? Or?
Yeah. I grew up in Baltimore my whole life. Like mostly like West Baltimore. Like I just started like coming around here like 3 years ago. So like in West Baltimore, I was just basically like confined. You know what I'm saying? Like I never went outside of the neighborhood until like I was 18, and I just started like just exploring places by myself.
Doing just 18-year-old shit. Just
yeah. I mean yeah. Like I was like I graduated. I chose not to go to college, and like I was just doing music and just trying to like figure shit out. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, yeah.
So like I was just going everywhere, and like before I graduated and like before I was a senior, like I was just like that's when like I started getting into weed. Like I just started smoking and shit. So like I was always fucking with my homie Terrence, who was like in college, but like he was living in like this neighborhood and shit. So like I would come home. I would go to his place from school and record, and we'd smoke. And like that was one of my first glimpses like around like this type of area, and just around the arts area. And so like that's just how that happened. Like I just started exploring like once I turned like 18, 17.
I mean, that's one of the things I find really interesting about not just Baltimore, but just like art districts and art like locations in general is there's such like a difference where like almost like Richmond is a really good place where like VCU is like so popping and shit. And like one of the big things I found is like pretty much once you walk into anywhere that like the arts district has their hands in, you can tell, you start seeing shit like spray paint. You like just see like
you just see certain
view.
shit. Yeah, you see like a lot of like hipster motherfuckers. Like you see this
dudes on bikes and shit with crazy hair and like and I feel like if you're a creative person that like hits a switch with you and you're like oh shit, like people can do that, like
and it's like it's real like friendly around here. Like I mean like there's a lot of crime. It's crime that happen around this, but not a lot. Like you don't like I can walk out of here and like not see some crazy shit happen for about like 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like in the hood, I can go outside and see shit happen in a matter of like 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a big difference, but it's cool.
I mean, I feel like what a lot of the successful like creative venues or districts do is you take that create like that safe place for creativity, and then what I really like that you've done, a lot of people have done, is the idea of like taking it and moving it back into like those hood areas, because it's like, okay, we got a place to grow like our energy and like grow our music or our craft, and then let's bring it back. And I feel like that's how you take it and like try to like then you like leave an impact, because it's one thing to like make creative music that only stays with like the hipsters and the creative people, but that's like then what impact did you make? I feel like
what impact you make to like your people.
Exactly, because I feel like that's what it all comes back to, is like putting on for your people. And we talked about that a little earlier, like that idea of like you gotta push the vision.
And like I periodically like I have talks with a friend of mine who in the neighborhood named Hood, and like he make beats too. So like he get to like hear my shit all the time, and like he'll call me like, yo, that's crazy, let's do some shit. And I I try to put him on like with some shit that's around here and things like that. So like shout out to Hood, you know what I'm saying? Like we gonna be working soon, but that I feel like that's what it's all about. Just like even like getting people hip that's like not in this area that you like doing music in particularly, and making sure like they have an open mind about just music in general. Because some people don't even leave the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that sometimes like allows them not to like hear more shit because they just surrounded around like the same people who like the same shit. So like I try to like have them talks with my friends in the neighborhood and show them that like there's a lot more different shit out there than the norm. You know what I'm saying?
Now let's talk about like growing up. What were you like growing up? Because you said you didn't really get into weed until you were like an adult, like 18.
Yeah.
Like, what were you like growing up as a kid?
Like I was a good kid, real, but I was just always around trouble. Mm-hmm. So that made me like, I wouldn't say I was a troublemaker and everything. Mm-hmm. I would just like always be around trouble, and I would always be like around the wrong crowd, mm-hmm. like just growing up. And I tried to like always had like somebody to like, like my grandmother, she would always like keep my head straight, mm-hmm. you know what I'm saying? And like I did most of my good for her. Mm-hmm. So like when I was growing up, like I used to like hang around like all the street cats. Yeah. Like we just be like just doing a lot of like bad shit, but I didn't think it was bad at the time, like playing knick and knocker, but it was like it wasn't no knocking on the door. Like we kicking the door and then running like until that shit break. And like and God forbid, like I wouldn't want anybody to do this, but like beating up like poor people. And I would say like that's one thing like I regret like trying to like involve myself with, because like I didn't know back then, like you know what I'm saying, like you just got like a corrupted mind, and you just don't like really know what's right or what's wrong. It's just like it's just like just a lot of energy just being circulated around.
I feel like when you don't have that guidance or anything, like you don't know any better.
Yeah, and like I mean this is like all when I was like young, like when I was like 12, 13, because like I was living in a house full of females, and my mother, she didn't want me to become like feminine and no shit like that, so she just like kept me outside the house. And like by that time, like when I was 13, like that's when I was like started like I was in middle school and I was getting ready to go to high school, and that's when I just started like selling drugs and shit. Like I remember right when I graduated middle school, going into high school, like I just started like selling drugs with a couple friends of mine. We was just selling coke. Like it was a little rough, but it wasn't really rough. Like all we had to do was just like stay low from the police and make sure like we ain't doing no stupid shit, you know what I'm saying? But basically like I was just getting my clothes and shit ready for the school year, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even know what high school I was going to. Like I was just like trying to get shit together, get my Jordans,
just get my
uniform, like get whatever I had to get. And I ended up going to the school called Renaissance Academy, which is like a level above my middle school, because like I know like in middle school, that's where like in Baltimore City, like in middle school, like in the 7th grade is where like the 7th grade like grades determine like which high school you going to, not the 8th grade, which is like I don't get it. Yeah, it's weird. And like I was like real bad in middle school, so like my grades was bad. I couldn't go to the school I wanted to go to. Like I wanted to go to like Poly or like City or something like that, but I couldn't go there, so I went to this school. And you know, I got all my shit together. I got all my stuff together. Like it took like school started a week. I still didn't go, and like I just went the week after, and everything was cool. Like I stopped selling drugs. It was real easy for me to get out that drug shit, because I had friends who like they understood me. Like I was different. Like I was like, you know how you just can see somebody and like you just know, like, you know, it's something different about them. Like why is this person here? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like some of it like was like from my father. Like my father is like real known in the neighborhood, and like just with that respect, you know, it was just a thing. Like, all right, like, man, I'm done. I gotta go to school. You know what I'm saying? So, and I was young too. You know what I'm saying? So like, it was real easy for me to get out of. And I started like selling weed. Like right, like when I smoked weed in my parents found out that I smoked weed,
Yeah.
it was kind of thing like, all right, I can smoke in the house now, because my parents used to smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? My mother used to smoke weed, and my father, I don't even know if my father still smoked weed. I don't know what's up with him, but I started smoking weed in the house, and eventually, like, me and my mother, we just started selling weed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I moved out in the county for the first time, like, right when I was, like, got to the 10th grade, and, like, we just started selling weed out there, like, just chilling and all that, and, like, that's where I met some of my closest friends I had today.
So you're, like, about 16 at this time. What time did you start rapping? When did you start getting... Or how was music, like, growing up for you? How did you kind of, like, get into it? Was it just...
Yeah, I was always around music. Like, my father, like I said, my father, he's a known nigga, like, in the neighborhood and in the city, but, like, in the neighborhood, like, he was known for selling, he was known for, like, you know, doing his thing, and, like, in the city, like, he was just a local rapper. Like, he went by Hooli Shalom, like, he been on 92Q, all that, and, he been doing music, like, ever since, like, I was little, you know what I'm saying? He still do music now, but just being around all that, it kind of, like, gave me, like, it didn't inspire me to do music, but it just gave me an eye of, like,
it opened it up as, like, a possibility.
Yeah,
oh, this is a thing
like,
people can do.
it's like, you know, people who actually do this. Like, my father do this for a living. Like, you know, people don't really, like, have, like, fathers coming up, like, you know, like, a rapper as an occupation, you know what I'm saying? So, like, this was just a thing where it was just, like, it was my first encounter to, like, seeing people, like, work as, like, being an artist, you know what I'm saying? And, this was, like, when I was, like, 8, and I think I was, like, in the 2nd or 3rd grade, like, I remember, like, I had this, like, type of love for rhyming words. So, like, that's what I was, like, really getting into, like, just rhyming words at first. Like, I heard a Foxy Brown song, like, when I was sweeping, and, like, just kind of got the gist of everything. Like, okay, like, initially, like, my whole mindset was, like, rap is, like, rhyming. Like, you just put rhyming words together. Like, basically, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think about the whole, like, story part or, like, anything with that. It was just, like, rap, like, rhyming words. And so, like, I just started, like, just putting rhyming words together. Like, I remember the first rap I wrote, it was just, like, it was stupid as hell. Then I, like, took some words, like, from a Ludacris song, just so, like, I can just, like, feel it. But I remember that was the first rap I wrote, like, once I got older, like, because I've been, like, rapping in school before I started doing songs. Like, I was rapping in the 5th grade, like, I rapped for my 5th grade graduation, and then, like, I just started rapping in middle school, just, like, doing, like, little rap battles and stuff like that. And once I got to high school, and I had this little rock band mic, and I had, like, my little computer and everything, and I was just, like, recording, like, little songs from there. Like, me and my brother, like, he had this, like, this little radio that, like, record shit on tape cassette, and that was, like, kind of, like, my first encounters with recording. But yeah, like, once I got to high school, and I just started, like, networking, getting around. Like, I was rapping in high school too, like, doing the talent shows and all that shit. And, like, people was, like, I don't know, I was just kind of excited off of that school fame, you know what I'm saying? Like, my school wasn't big. It was, like, 300 people in the whole school. Like, my school wasn't big at all. So, like, people would just, like, fuck with me heavy on the rap tip. And, like, I met a guy named Fella Brown who did music and shit. And, like, he got me started with, like, just, like, the real equipment and, like, just learning how to, like, record by yourself and shit like that. Like, he was on, like, some bedroom, like, recording type shit. And he got me into that. So, like, I bought my own mic and everything, and I just started, like, doing it myself. And, like, I just started, like, dropping tapes. Just, like, I just kept dropping tapes in high school. And that's when, like, Currency and Wiz, you know how they was just, like, dropping tapes.
Like, tapes.
And so I was inspired by that.
Yeah.
And, like, it made me want to, like, drop tapes, like, Lil B, like, all of them. They just made me want to do that shit.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people, like, I mean, everyone knows Currency is mad underrated, but I feel like the ability to, like, consistently put out good quality tapes. I feel like that's really
that man is the GOAT, yo.
Oh, I'm telling you, Spit on Treddy, man. He's like so slept on, and like the funny thing is, like instead of being like bitter about it or something, he's basically like, no, I'm still getting like I'm getting money.
Yeah, he's still embracing. He's living his life.
Like, and I feel like the thing is, people like in circles hear about like if you hear Currency, you're like, oh, he must be a really like famous, popular rapper, and he's like, it's really not for like how good he is. He's really not that like popping.
Yeah.
But what was I asking? So like you talked about kind of popping off of high school a little bit. Do you think the people like when you kind of rapping all through school? Do you think people like really reacted well to that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I feel like some of the people in high school really didn't have didn't have an understanding of like just how like we was rapping. It was just kind of like a hype thing. Like I probably could have said like a whack ass bar and they still but like I was like for certain like I was the nicest in the school, like no ego shit, like I was the nicest in the school, and like and people knew that, and so like I feel like people was like really like riding for me like in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like people just fuck with me heavy, and like I don't know, it was just that like they just fuck with everything like I did, like all the music I did, and like all the raps I did at the talent shows. Like I never did songs at talent shows. Like I did straight up like acapellas, and I felt like that's what stood out. That's what stood out when I was doing them talent shows, because everybody was doing like songs, and it was like we had some shitty ass speakers, and like niggas was just so whack. You know what I'm saying? It was like a couple good like rappers in the school, but like niggas was just whack trying to like spit they song over these like shitty ass speakers, and I was just like, fuck that, I'm not doing that. I'm doing acapella shit. Like I know what what I'm capable of, and what like the school is like capable of, or like what it can do for me, and what like these students can do for me like while I'm on stage. So like let me just like be strategic and not fuck with these shitty speakers and just like rap, like let them actually hear like the words I'm saying, and that's what like got them to fuck with me.
Now how do you think you reacted? Like it seems like you like played it smart, and you weren't trying to like cash in immediately off of it. Like how do you think getting that type of like success or like clout or hype, how do you think that like affected you like as you kind of like developed as a rapper, like, and as a musician throughout your career? Like how do you think that's affected you? Do you think that just gave you the confidence to be like, okay, like I can drop good shit, or how do you think that affected you?
Like it affected me all types of ways, so it's like I learned a couple things from it, and I kind of like read a couple things from it, because because the hype, like it affected me because I was like dropping shit, but like you said earlier, like the overexposure.
Developed, yeah.
It was kind of like that thing, like I was like dropping a lot of shit, but it was like bad quality. But back then I was hearing it, and it was just like, oh shit,
that's so great. Hard,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like that was my problem, because like I just felt like I had to start over, and I feel like that's what I learned from, because it's like, I mean, I got the hype, but I want to like do things right, you know what I'm saying? Because at first I went by like my full name, you know what I'm saying, like as my rapper name, and I decided to change it. Like I don't know what year that I decided to like change my name, my rap name from like my real name, because my real name is Juwan Allen, but like I go by Butch Dawson like, as my stage name. So like that whole like fresh plate, just like it was a big thing for me, because like I feel like that's what I needed at the time, and I feel like that was like the only way I can like make shit perfect, well, not perfect, but just more acceptable to like the audience from like start to finish. You know what I'm saying?
So when you kind of like reinvented yourself, like I totally understand that because I've even done that too. Where like I like did shit under different names, then you find, then you're like, you know what, like I need a fresh start because you don't want that old shit. You don't want that like haunting you, or you don't want that like holding you back. Like when you're like, you know what, I want to do this the right way, and you drop that, and then everyone's like, but look at that shit from like 2011.
Yeah, no, niggas still be coming up to me like sending me old shit, talking about, yo, this classic, like
it's classic shit. Like I don't want to fuck with that.
And I just like, but I feel like that's how it is with every artist. Like they don't
of course.
really like the old shit. But I just felt like it was just a good thing for me just to like to start over, and like I had a lot of good reasons behind it. Like I just this is when I just moved like out in the county, like you know what I'm saying, like I'm getting out of the ghetto, like you know what I'm saying. Like I made my like a solid project called Sunset Avenue, and that was like basically like the street I was living on, and like that was like basically like my last like tape as Juwan Allen, and that shit like that was just basically like the stepping stone, or like just like, you know, a goodbye is like a farewell to my name. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm about to start this new shit. Everything like shit is about to be hot. You know what I'm saying?
So once you kind of like made this choice to like reinvent yourself, what were the things that were like really important to you like going forward?
Just like strategizing, marketing, you know, just marketing that image that you want. Like just try to like market your image the best you can, because like you can be like you can be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gotta be like nobody else. You can be yourself, but it's just how you market yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like some of these niggas out here, like they can be like normal as fuck, but how you market yourself is like everything. Like Pharrell wouldn't be who he was if like he market himself like a certain way. You know what I'm saying? He'd probably just still be like, you know, just like the nerdy, like kind of like a regular cool guy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
A cool
like,
guy. You gotta like,
or like Lupe or Chance the Rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like he's normal as fuck. You know what I'm saying? But he still got the image, because it's like how he market himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think it's like you gotta like you gotta, you know, you can be regular, because the thing is like now I think with the internet and like being able to see more and more of a person's life, you don't want to see someone that like you know is not living that life.
Yeah, I can't imagine Chance the Rapper like hopping out of a Bugatti.
Yeah, just like like chained up, like flexing.
You know
and
what I'm
shit.
saying? Like, you know, he real humble and like cool guy. You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like that's what people like, because I feel like at the end of the day, like, you know,
that's what he wants to show people. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's the best form of marketing, because think about it, when you find out like your homie or someone like, or even like that, like, you know, we met a couple times, like, but like just seeing someone you know, or someone that's like, oh, like this is a person, like this is a friend or something, and you see them blow up, that's the best feeling, because it's like, it's kind of like that underdog story, you know, of like, because if you see like if you see like some super poppin' dude drop some shit, like, it's like, of course he's popping, but when you're like, damn, like one of us, like, you know, one of us made it, like, that's the best feeling. That's
how I was like when the Ravens won the Super Bowl.
You're like,
I'm like,
oh shit,
these niggas the underdogs, like, yo, like shit, like we lit right now. Our city lit. Everybody, like, all eyes on.
Yeah, like
Baltimore
no one can
right
fuck
now.
with us right now. Untouchable. Like, I feel like
damn.
I feel like that's like a really important like way to put yourself out there. It's like I want to be, cause that's the thing, is like that's the easiest thing. Like I have friends or people like that. They try to be like act like they're living this like crazy life. It's like no, you're not. Like I know you work 6 days a week. Don't act like you're on some bougie cruise. Like we both know the truth. Like don't front. So, so how did you get into like all these different collectives and stuff like that? How did you come across these people?
Like it all started like, I feel as though like it all started with my boy Terrence, and just me like exploring. Like I was going down Fells Point, and oh wait, let me backtrack.
Yeah.
All right, so like like an old friend of mine, Atmo. Shout out to Atmo, aka OG Dutch Master, aka Black Mo. He like he wanted to like manage me, kind of, and like he had this clothing line called White House 410, and like he was working at this streetwear shop called Pet X that used to be in Fells Point like a long time ago, and like he, you know, so like we linked up and everything, you know what I'm saying, like just you know, we was just wanted to fuck with each other for real, and I would always go down there like every day to the Pet X, and we would just like be freestyling or like hit like, you know, take some photo shots of me like for his like clothing line and things like that, and like we became cool friends, and once like I just start chilling down there, I just start meeting a lot of like cool motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, like, and this was way before like anybody was thinking about music, you know what I'm saying. This was like when the streetwear shit was just popping off, and like Big Sean was like getting up there, like I don't know, like, you know, shit wasn't how it is now, and everybody wasn't like looking to be a rapper, you know what I'm saying. So like I'm around there and shit, and I had this group called Lost Leaders, and that consisted of like me, OG Dutch Master, and Terrence, my friend Morty, Ryan P, and we was like, most of us was like on like West Baltimore, like that. OG Dutch Master was like from East, but we had Lost Leaders, and that's when like just being around, that's like just being around Fells Point, like we met a couple like other motherfuckers from East Baltimore, and they had like this little group called the Villains, and like some of them was rapping, like some of them like did like other things, but like we all like was real close, like some of the people in Lost Leaders like already knew of like some of the dudes in the Villains, like vice versa, so like we put it together, and we made it like Villains, you know what I'm saying, because like we just didn't want to like put Lost Leaders in it no more. It was like kind of like L7, but we just went by the Villains, and so it was that, and then like I feel like we've been going strong for a lot of years.
Yeah, so you were talking about, so you went from L7 and now you're in Villains.
No, like it was like Villains was L7.
Oh, Villains, you know was what I'm saying?
Yeah,
okay.
We just like took the name Lost Leaders out because we didn't know how to like put Villains and Lost Leaders together. So we just like, fuck it, we just gonna go by the Villains. Then for shorts, it's like L7. So like we did that, like we went strong for like a couple years, and like we went by Villains, and like me my friend Ryan, Shido, and an old friend of mine named Zay, we was just like just in the county like chilling, just like making music, and I wanted to just like have like a tag, like kind of like how the mixtapes, like they got their own tags and shit, so I wanted my own tag, and I just told my boy Zay to go in the go in the booth and just keep saying Basement Rap, and I felt like that was like the type of music I was making back then, like it was just like very like DIY, like very raw, like gritty, like we was on like some real street like gully shit, you know what I'm saying, and like that just sounded like basement rap to me. So I was just telling them to say basement rap, and like we found like the perfect tag and everything like that, and like it just kind of like went with everything we was doing. Like we was just like recording and playing video games, so they like the two tags, like we got playing video games and then we got basement rap, nigga. So like we had them, and my boy Sheep, like I just been like tweeting it around and stuff like basement rap. Sheep, he was in LA at the moment, and he hit me like yo, that's like I fucks with that nigga, cause he was gonna use it for a song at first, but I already like had something like to it, and like he was just like, yo, we can go somewhere with this. But like he came back to Baltimore, we actually like we made a basement rap song, and then like, you know, like the name just got big, but we eventually like we still Villains, but kind of not, because everybody, like, it's just been a lot of shit that's been going on, and some people, like, got out the group, you know. It's just like just a whole bunch of crazy shit.
Just life shit, you know.
Yeah, just a whole bunch of life shit. And we went by Basement Rap, and it just started off like it's just like a genre to like just, you know, just a movement. And it's now like where we at now, like it's a movement, but it's like people know like it's a collective of, like, you know, these particular type dudes. So, you know, we that's how Basement Rap started, and basically, like, I just wanted to expand, like I just want to expand Basement Rap and do a lot of things with it, and just go over the horizon with that shit, you know. Like, I'm doing like things like Basement Rap Radio.
Yeah.
I'm doing like merch. We be doing like these little videos called Footy, where it's like we just like, it's like almost like some day in the life shit.
Yeah.
And you know, we just try to do like a lot of things like with Basement Rap, just to like have that variety of not just only rap, but more than that, you know what I'm saying? Like, my boy MS3, he paint, he do photos, and Shido, he does like the videos and things like that. Zeep, he rap, I rap, and I host for Basement Rap Radio. Like, we all do different things, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's what it is now, Basement Rap.
I mean, that's something like I really fuck with, because like my thing is like doing like a podcast and a brand and like that stuff, because like if you, I don't know if you're the same way, but like if you do just one thing, like that's not enough.
Yeah,
like you gotta like stay busy.
I just like, and I just like creating shit. Like, I just like doing projects.
Exactly.
And like I don't even like go in the studio and like have intentions on like trying to make like mixtape or album. Like, I don't even be like trying to like aim for that thought of like mixtape album. I call everything like projects, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like I used to like fuck with, like in school I used to fuck with like class projects. Like, when we had a class project and everything, like I just used to fuck with the thought of like
a project,
you know, putting together, because and every time I did, like, I would get like some good like feedback. Like, I always like got some good ass grades just because like I was in projects and shit, and like the people wanted to work with me because I was just like so into like that shit. Like, just, you know, you doing your own shit. Like, everybody in the classroom not doing their own thing. So like I'll just be like, I think I was just like real competitive, and that just like kind of led me to like be like real creative with shit. Like, I was always creative like coming up, so like all them elements just like made me like become who I am. I mean,
I definitely feel that, because I was the same way. Because like the way I see it, and like back when I was like probably like got into high school, it's that two-way where there's like two paths like creative people take. There's like the famous path, you know, like all the famous people, like albums and mixtapes, but then you get like that underground when it's people using terms like projects, like it's a collective, like like all these kind of like different types of words and shit. And like for me, because like I mean, I say this all the time, but like my brother, he used to do beats and shit, and he was like coming and he was working with like Anu and Mind Design and Knowledge and like Devin Hu and like all these cats who like now they're popping. Yeah, so like that, like those were like the people I was bumping in high school, and I thought it was really cool, this idea that, you know, like I'm following on Facebook and shit, and they all like dropping this project, and like that sounds so cool, and like when you're young it sounds like so like interesting and mysterious. Yeah. So like now I'm at the point where like I can't call it a brand, like I have to call it like, oh, it's a clothing project, because like you don't want that like official label on that. Yeah, and I feel like with the official label and everything, like you following, like you kind of like meeting like some type of like exec type guy. Yeah. You gotta go through like a bunch of like other shit, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like the underground artists don't really gotta go through nobody. Like it's no type of like label or anything. No A&R, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, it's a project, you know what I'm saying? Like we underground artists, we not mainstream yet. Yeah. We just like, we got projects, like, you know what I'm saying? We not like we like I said, like we don't have intentions of coming in the studio and making albums. Like that's what the mainstream people for. Exactly. They got like They got like a team and shit.
Yeah,
like,
they got due dates and shit like that. Like we can have due dates too, depending on how far like we want to like be professional without shit. But it's all like still a project because like at the end of the day, most of the underground artists got the creative control.
Exactly.
So like, who knows what that shit gonna turn out as? You know what I'm saying? It's like a fucking project.
Exactly. Plus, it's like I like that because it's like when you're in the underground, like one of my favorite things about like kind of being there is like, yeah, I'm like about to come home from work and then I'm about to like finesse this project. Like, I'm not like waking up and like, oh, time to go to the studio. Like, you gotta make time for it. And I feel like that, like when it's not your job, like full time or something, and like that's like. You're not just like living the lifestyle, like, cause I feel like a lot of popular people now they live like the lifestyle, like a lifestyle, and then they just happen to be a rapper. Where as opposed to like, oh, I'm trying to like I'm trying to put myself on as a rapper, I'm trying to put myself on as a creator, do all this shit. Like I feel like you get like a pure like product because there's no room for fuck ups, you know, like. I'm like not that every project's perfect, but you know what I'm saying. Where like like if you drop like a whack tape, like that's a big deal. You know, you can't just like drop whack shit and like get away with it. You know, like you have like more to lose. You know, but speaking of projects, I thought it was really interesting. You know, I was listening up on the way down. I listened to the project with Elon. I thought that was tight. And one of the things I saw was interesting, and we can talk about it later, is the Rest in Peace project. And I thought it was really cool that you had it narrated by someone. Like, I find that interesting because I feel like back, with like all the Clark Kent and shit where DJ
like the host, like
hosted, not narrated. I'm sorry, hosted, but like hosted. I feel like that's something that like you don't see very often. Right?
Yeah. I mean, like it's out there. Like, man, let me tell you, like DJ Nick, he from Baltimore, but like he popping right now with like all the artists that's coming up, like the underground artists, like the mainstream artists that's out right now, like. He really like on that hosting shit, but like you rarely see it. You rarely see it now. Like you had all them like cool DJs like back then. Like they still out, but like the that era ain't the same no more.
Yeah, it's like the spotlight's not on it anymore.
Yeah, like the era ain't the same. But like I just want to bring back like that feel, like that aesthetic, like that mixtape feel, and that's what I wanted to go. Like with this tape, that's what I was like going with. So like my boy Frigidaire Carrots, like he live in California, but like we just thought it like this gonna be his first tape, but we talked and like we just thought about like just putting something together that's just sound like some real like raw like mixtape shit that we always like kind of like. We always like had this like type of like nostalgia, like we wanted to be real nostalgic when you hear it, and like just get a sense of like some of your favorite like mixtape songs that you heard back in the day, just get that feel,
like that
just
OG
be like
shit,
But I just wanted to be like super like raw mixtapey, like you get it and you just like damn, this is like a mixtape, you know what I'm saying? So like with Rest in Peace, like that's what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like and with the whole like Rest in Peace idea, like some of the songs on there don't have anything to do with like a nigga dying, but it's just a metaphor like for me killing shit, and like I want to like take how people celebrate death and flip it in my own way. So like with the promotion I'm doing and all that shit, like it's gonna be like kind of just like death, like you know what I'm saying, like it's I can't really explain everything, but everything is just gonna be like kind of like promoted from like how people celebrate death, so like funerals, memorials, and like certain things like that. I remember you talking about it in like how we glorify it in the media, where that's like literally that's all it is now. It's just talking about something dies, something dies. But one of the things that really stuck out to me is, like, as I'm on my way listening, Yada Yada came on, and you talked about that feeling of nostalgia, and you're talking about something like, Boomerang, like, Channel 298, and that shit hit me, because I think that's, like, what, DirecTV or something? And, like, as soon as I heard that, like, it was one of those things, like, oh, fuck, like, because it's one of those, it's, like, it's such a specific detail that, like, most, if you're not listening, you'll just kind of gloss over it, but if you hear it, you're like, wait, what? Like, damn, son, it's, like, such a specific thing, and I really like that, and there's, like, you talked about how you started out
rhyming, but the idea of like there's a lot of storytelling ability in the songs, and I feel like that's something that's interesting. But still bringing it like in an aesthetic that there's like a little not boom bap, but there's like a little bit of like alternative in there.
Yeah, and that's like one thing, like that's my love. Like I love jazz, like like that's my love. Like that's like my love, like second to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And I always want to like incorporate that element to my music, like somehow, some way. Not even like even if it's not like for the mixtape, it's gonna be like for a future mixtape or like most of my discography. You know what I'm saying? And I really didn't add that much of a jazz element to Rest in Peace, but like people know like when they hear like Butch Dawson or when they hear my music, like they know that I be on like some jazz, like hip hop, like real evil like type shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's even one thing I'm trying to work on now is just like putting that evil and jazz like together, because like I can do it, but you might not like hear it together like all together. You might hear like bam bam and then probably like bam, but everything's not like bam bam. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I'm working on. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like I've put out like tapes like Lower Mercury, where it's like it got a jazz hip hop element. Like you can hear like all through the project on the tape I got with Elon. That's like straight up like alternative like jazz hip hop shit.
It's like very jazz.
And you know I got a couple songs that's just like that, but I just want people to know that you know I got some love like for jazz music and like just like dope ass like chords and shit like that and melodies. Like I just want people to know like I still can do that shit. Like you can't really like put me in a box. Like I can do a lot of shit.
I mean, you talked about trying to mesh it, and you know we kind of talked about having always wanted to do a billion different projects, and I feel like that's hard because like the way I feel sometimes, like you feel like there's like different parts of you. And you know you want to let people know that that's a part of you, but it's hard to like let it mesh perfectly because it's like you know like oh I'm really into this and I'm really into that, and you want to do it, you want to connect them, but sometimes it's hard to like mesh it, and sometimes you just have to like put them in there. Like I feel like that's a really hard thing to do is like how do you express like every part of yourself in a project, whatever it is, without like making it sound just like you know like a mumbly mess, you know.
Yeah, it's just depending on how you brainstorm. Like how you brainstorm and everything, and like what's the whole direction behind like a project you doing, and like what do you wanna like
accomplish?
Yeah, and what do you wanna like get across to like the people who's listening, and who you like trying to do it for. So like like when I was doing the Parallels project with Elon, like I feel like I was real inspired by jazz at that moment, like to a point where it's like I can like make some shit and it just click, and you know I'm in this zone where it's like I'm not thinking about like the other shit. I'm not thinking about like the trap music I make and shit like that. I'm just like in this whole like mindset of like just good sounds and good melodies, and like I was around Elon, and I was actually living in the room beside this, and it was like near the summertime, like it was like feeling good, so like, I was around like some good, like it was like good vibes, like good vibes good for that project, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like when I like get these projects, I brainstorm about it, and I'm trying to like fit like you know a certain sound or a certain element, or like just multiple elements. I'm trying to fit multiple elements to a project. Yeah, it's just depending on like how I'm brainstorming it, because it is times where it's like you got to take this song, and then you got to take that other like song with a different like vibe to it and like kind of put it together, and then like you got some of the meshes where it's like it meshes perfectly. You do that, but I feel like it just depends on how you like how you brainstorm and like what's your direction, because that shit like actually like plays a big part. Like it plays a huge part now. Like even like with the art direction and the title, and you just gotta like have like I don't know, like you just gotta have like the songs. You even gotta have the songs in a certain order for it to just like in order for shit to come out right. You know what I'm saying?
To kind of like tell that full story and like keep it cohesive. Like I feel like the hardest thing is when you have sometimes you have to be like, even though there's like 6 things I want to like talk about or express, you know, maybe only 3 of them get in and we save those other 2 for later.
For another.
I feel like that's the hard part because like you want to be like, oh, I want to talk about like death, I want to talk about how I'm killing all that shit, and you're like, damn, if I add this extra thing, it's not gonna make sense, so we just gotta leave it, you know.
Okay, and then it's like when I be doing the jazz joints, I don't know, sometimes like I want to get like real street on that because it's like not a lot of people you don't hear a lot of people like talking like you don't hear like a lot of people talking like wild shit like on some like jazz beats, like, you know what I'm saying? So like it's just kind of like a new like refreshing like thing to like hip hop. And that's also like what I wanted to do. I don't really do it all the time because it's like it could like just fuck a vibe up, you know what I'm saying? But like it's cool doing that.
Yeah, I mean I definitely think it's good to experiment, and I feel like that's what one of the beautiful things about like the underground is the idea of like we're just gonna try it and see what happens, and like and sometimes sometimes it's bad, but sometimes like oh shit, like I like that, like I like that, like run that back, like so you know, as we're kind of like starting to wrap up, we got the Rest in Peace project. When is that dropping?
Rest in Peace is dropping June 20th. And yeah, that shit is just gonna be epic. Like I'm trying to like get the music videos done now, and just try to like work on seeing like how I could just bring traffic to the tape. Yeah. So like that's my main goal right now. Like the tape is like done. It's 10 songs I believe. Is like a bonus track on there, and I got some tracks on there produced by me, produced by Frigidaire Kurtz, Sanchez, and Nos, my boy Nos. Yeah.
So, you know, that project's coming up. What other projects and things you got coming up? Anything else? Because we can get into,
so I got the Basement Rap tour coming up, and that's June 25th to July 2nd. And then we got the Llamadon tour. That's like July 27th to September 11th. That's gonna be long.
Yeah, and I'll put links to the tour dates for all the locations and shit on there.
Word.
But I know there's also a fundraiser for that. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So we got the you talking about the pop-up shop or like just the Llama fundraiser?
You can talk about both. Talk about both.
So like. I could talk about both. It's kind of like fitting the same thing.
Yeah.
So we got the pop-up shop, which is like it's on June 11th, but Basement Rap and Llamadon is like collabing to do a pop-up shop. We gonna sell merch. We got people playing music, and it's to raise money. It's just like to raise money, like for our expenses in our tour van. Also, we got the fundraiser on the Indiegogo to donate money so we can get a tour van, and so like we decided to do that and see where that takes us, because like it's just hard for like independent artists like us to just like try to get our music heard. Like most of these independent artists, like they stay in the city, like they don't leave, you know what I'm saying? So like with this tour van, it can not only like help us but help a lot of other artists like get out the city and like be able to perform their music to new crowds and things like that. So we got that fundraiser going on, like the Indiegogo fundraiser, and also there's a festival coming up, Anchor Fest.
Oh yeah. I'm excited for that.
And I'm opening up for Lil Uzi Vert, JK the Reaper, Playboy Cardi. So that should be like a real.
His father in there?
No, like father, he had a show like that next day, so he couldn't perform. Like he was like out of the country, so he couldn't like perform that show. So they just picked up Playboy Cardi. So like that shit still won't be lit.
No,
you know
it's
what
gonna
I'm
be
saying?
so lit.
I think that's July 9th.
Yeah.
It's July 9th.
Yeah, I'm excited. For that.
That's gonna be crazy, man.
Yeah, and that's gonna be in Frederick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That I'll be posting about that. I'm so excited for that show.
Yeah. That's gonna be crazy.
I think my hope is that after that show, like maybe like Maryland, just outside of Baltimore, it can kind of like become a spot because really the only big spot is people go to the Fillmore in Silver Spring and like maybe the 930 Club, and that's in DC, and that's like really the only place like people perform in the DMV, and I'd love to see like more artists.
Yeah, they got people performing at Soundstage, but that's not really considered the DMV. It's Baltimore, but like it's really like 930 Club, Fillmore, and that's about basically it. Like they shutting down a lot of venues.
Well, there's the Autobahn,
DC.
but I don't know how many rap shows there.
Autobahn.
Yeah, the Autobahn. I think so.
Autobar.
Autobar. Yeah. My girl goes to there all the time.
It be like shows going on there too. Yeah, they be bringing out like some pretty cool acts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, people. I'll throw in links for everything where people can donate, all that stuff. Where can people follow you if they're trying to keep track of all your moves?
All right. Follow me on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
It's PrimeLard, PRIMELARD. You can Google search everything else as like Butch Dawson.
Yeah.
You follow me on Instagram, Butch Dawson, YouTube, Butch Dawson, Facebook, Butch Dawson.
SoundCloud? Yeah, I think it's Butch Dawson.
Yeah, SoundCloud, Butch Dawson. Like, yeah, everything's Butch Dawson except for the Twitter. Twitter's PrimeLard. So follow me. Yeah, follow me on Twitter.
I think that just about wraps it up. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Shout out to Basement Rap. Shout out to Shido, Ryan P, Sheep, Llamadon, everybody on the West. Shout out to Hood. Shout out to Avon. That's about it.
Yeah, shout out Diligence. He did the podcast earlier.
Shout out Diligence, man.
Also, shout out JPEG Mafia. He's next. You're next, son.
Shout out JPEG, man.
Get you on here. Okay.
Fucking nigger.